Ladies and gentlemen, if you know anything about me on this YouTube channel, if you've listened to any of my videos for the past 4 years I've been posting, you will know that I'm a big proponent of the 4-year cycle on Bitcoin. I believe in the 4-year cycle. I believe the 4-year cycle has predicted every single top and bottom Bitcoin has seen historically as per its date range umbrella trend. And when I asked you guys the question a couple of days ago in my community poll, whether Bitcoin is seeing a bull market correction or a bear market breakdown, 80% of you think we're seeing a bull market correction. So 80% of you, the overwhelming majority of you, are still bullish on Bitcoin. You still think Bitcoin has more room to run. And that's excellent. I completely agree. I think that Bitcoin probably does have more room to run. However, the game is changing a little bit here. We're approaching the cyclical deadline. We're getting very, very close. Okay. And actually now, for the first time ever, in this cycle, we are reaching the point in which if we saw a top here, it would be slightly early, but it probably would be considered a 4-year cycle top. And for that reason, we really have to assess the bearish argument very carefully right now to understand whether or not the top is actually in. So just to clarify, I am macro bullish. I do still think Bitcoin will go higher. However, I am very vigilant here and I'm watching the levels that matter very, very closely. In this video, I'll explain that in full. I think you need to hear this. Before we get into it, I've got something for you. Go ahead and check out the Bitunix Exchange. A lot of people ask me what exchange I use as a trader. I use the Bitunix Exchange and I don't have a contract with them. I haven't signed anything with them. I don't work for them. I advertise them on my own accord. With my referral link down below, you can get a 15% trading fee discount permanently attached to your account, as well as up to 8,000 USDT in rewards just by signing up with my link down below. Why would you sign up? Well, it's global, it's non-KYC, it's never been hacked before, it's got all the functions and pairs that you would expect for a major exchange. For that reason, I use it. And I implore you to consider using it as well. Sign up with my link to help out the channel, help out yourself. Cheers. I'm not going to waste your time here today. I'm going to dive right into it off the bat. The thing that actually matters here is whether or not the top is in, of course. 4-year cycle, what is it? What is it all about? Well, it's a date range trend. It's an umbrella trend. It's connected to regular cyclical market trends like things that existed for decades. The presidential cycle theory for 1, the 18.6-year real estate cycle theory for 2. This is not just Bitcoin and cryptocurrency isolated. It exists in the macroeconomy and it's actually transpiring on cryptocurrency due to the existing trends that already existed before crypto was even invented. So it's much bigger than you probably think it is. But even if we're ignoring all of the underpinning fundamental structures that uphold the platform through which the 4-year cycle has come into fruition upon, couldn't have made that sentence more complicated if I tried, by the way. Even if you ignore everything else, I should say. The fact of the matter is, as per the charts, the 4-year cycle still remains strong alone as an individual trend. It is an umbrella trend with many micro trends involved, micro trends like the ones listed and color-coded on the left-hand side of the screen. 1,400 days from top to top, 1,400 days from bottom to bottom, 1,064 days exactly from bottom to top. All of these trends come together to give us a cyclical deadline of around October this year. In around October this year, potentially late October this year, we will probably see the top as per the 4-year cycle. However, the thing is, and this is where I get into the topic of the video, the bearish argument right now, and the strongest bearish argument that I can find, is basically that we have topped already, or we're going to top very, very soon, and it will actually be a 4-year cycle top. It will just be a little bit sooner than you expect. Okay, so an August top, or potentially even a top in July, which is what we've already seen. The bearish argument right now is that those tops that we saw in July, or a top coming very, very shortly that we haven't seen yet, will actually front run what most people are expecting for the 4-year cycle top and will remain valid within the 4-year cycle data. And the best argument you can come up with from that perspective is simply looking at the monthly chart on the 4-year cycle. Let's delete everything right now. The monthly chart trend so far is that we have a 47-month gap from top to top of the first cycle, a 49-month gap, sorry. We have a 47-month gap from top to top of the next cycle. And the difference between 49 and 47 is 2. If that trend, which is developing right now, is consistent and reliable, we would have a 2-month gap once more in this cycle, and that would bring us to a top in August this year. So it's a trend in which basically each cycle is getting 2 months shorter. And again, if that trend remains consistent, that would bring us to a top in August this year, which is this month, of course. And of course, Bitcoin reached 124,000 just a few weeks ago. If we have a trend that is developed, which basically says we're cutting off 2 months each cycle, there's nothing really stopping it from cutting off an extra 2 weeks. And hence there's nothing really stopping it from saying that the top's already in. Now it sounds dodgy because I think it is a bit dodgy, but it needs to be taken seriously. Because the levels Bitcoin rejected from at 124,000 are not to be joked around with. They are very, very important levels, which most people don't see. They look at the Bitcoin chart, they scroll back and they see nothing historically in this region because we're in price discovery. But what they fail to do is look at the alternative charts like the 2-week chart RSI, and we see very clear resistance, which we tested on Bitcoin and rejected from. We have a chart like this one here, a logarithmic regression channel where the angle of ascension between tops and bottoms are halving each cycle, showing clear resistance at $124,000 right now. Very strong resistance there, independently verified via the power law chart, which has been historically exceptionally useful on Bitcoin, which shows clear resistance again at 124,000, which we rejected from. So the reason why I'm even making this video is because, not because I'm convinced that the cycle is shortening by 2 months each time, because I think that's a relatively weak argument, but because I know it is an argument that is being made, and I know it is an argument that is being made in wake of a recent rejection from very major resistance that we cannot ignore. So it is on the table. It is a possibility. And as I said in the introduction, this is the first time in this bull market where I'm willing to say that if we topped out right here, right now, that would probably be a valid 4-year cycle top. It would be slightly different to what we've seen before, but it wouldn't be a break of the 4-year cycle. And given the fact that on this channel, I stand by the 4-year cycle, and I will do so until it's definitively disproven, that's actually a very major talking point for me. I can no longer say, quote unquote, the top isn't in because the 4-year cycle says so, because the 4-year cycle very well could be made to say so about an August top. So we are actually in danger here for Bitcoin. I don't think it's danger to be taken exceptionally seriously, but I think it is danger. I think it's a time which we need to be vigilant. We need to be watching out, because if we drop too far down here, that could actually validate the bearish argument I'm addressing in this video. That could actually mean the top is actually in, and it could mean the bull market is actually over. Now, in my view, the level we need to be watching is quite clear. Bitcoin has 2 separate important yellow lines. One of them goes backwards from 2017. That is the line we need to break back above. And one of them comes backwards from the lows here in April. That is a line we need to hold. We also have horizontal levels we need to hold, such as $110,000, which shows us a neckline of major support, okay, coming backwards from the January top in 2025. Now, all of this comes together to tell us that $110,000 is a very, very important support level. If we lose 110, we will have lost this uptrending yellow line. We will have failed to got back above the uptrending yellow line from 2017. We would have failed to salvage the situation in the short term with this pink descending channel formation. And basically, we'd be in a very dangerous position. Now, let's be very clear. A bear market would not be confirmed if we lost $110,000, but it would be a step in the right direction for the bears, and it'd make me start to take the bearish argument very, very seriously. Overall, there's a reason why I look at the cycle's deadline as October rather than August. I look at the cycle's deadline as October because it's based on trends that actually exist here right now, based on trends with 3 data points rather than trends which aren't even trends yet, with 2 data points that speculatively say the cycle is shortening by 2 months, okay? The data very clearly says that we're probably looking at an October top, but all I'm saying in this video is if we did top here, or if we did top a couple of weeks ago at 122,000, I couldn't definitively say that wasn't a 4-year cycle top. And for that reason, the bearish arguments in my view, for the first time in a long time, have to be taken seriously. So I still remain macro bullish, and I still will remain definitively macro bullish as long as we're above 110,000. And maybe even slightly beyond that. We'd have to assess the situation as it comes. But $110,000 at this point is the stronghold the bulls need to hold on to. Things are getting serious, guys. We're wrapping up the cycle here. We're coming towards the end of it. Obviously, we have plenty of time to see quite a lot more movement on Bitcoin, especially on altcoins, because altcoins and Ethereum do actually run longer than Bitcoin, generally speaking, and they run very aggressively in a very short period of time. So you can see altcoins do something crazy still. It's not like, oh, we're at the end. No, we're not quite there yet. But in terms of time, we could have only, just under 3 months left. We're coming towards the end of the cycle here, and we need to be very cautious and vigilant of these bearish arguments. They are going to start creeping up more and more, and we need to take them progressively more seriously as we get closer to the deadline. Because eventually one of them is going to be correct, and eventually the top will be in. So we need to be in a position in which we react to it in time. And in order to be in that position, I highly recommend you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Really hope you enjoyed, guys. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, of course. And check out the Bitunix Exchange. A lot of people ask me what exchange I use as a trader. I use the Bitunix Exchange, and I don't have a contract with them. I haven't signed anything with them. I don't work for them. I advertise them on my own accord. With my referral link down below, you can get a 15% trading fee discount permanently attached to your account, as well as up to 8,000 USDT in rewards just by signing up with my link down below. Why would you sign up? Well, it's global, it's non-KYC, it's never been hacked before, it's got all of the functions and pairs that you would expect for a major exchange. For that reason, I use it. And I implore you to consider using it as well. Sign up with my link to help out the channel, help out yourself. Cheers.